Hello guys and welcome back to our La Liga career mode. We're returning today with episode 6 and it's the big one as it's our season 1 finale as we're going to play out our final 5 games of the La Liga season with Girona, where we're still in the mix for the title with Barcelona, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, all within 4 points of each other going for the title. Our first game in itself is a huge one as it's a potential title decider, or it could open the door for one of the other two teams as we take on a Barcelona at the Montilivi. We'll end the season with a full roundup of the rest of the leagues, the European competitions, and one final look at the squad as well. As I've said, a huge game to kick off today as we welcome Barcelona to the Montilivi. Vamos, Girona. Yeah, we simply cannot understate the importance of this game here. Whoever wins will have destiny in their own hands heading into the final 4 games. We've still got some tough fixtures to come. And after losing to Barcelona earlier on in the season at the Nou Camp pretty convincingly, they were far the better team on that day. I'm feeling pretty nervous, especially considering how Real Madrid walked all over us as well. We've struggled against the big teams in the big games. Can we turn up today and pull out one of the biggest performances in club history? Ferran Torres into Gundogan. Back to Ferran Torres, Lewandowski. Nicely worked. Chalobah gets the block in. It's back to Frenkie de Jong. And it's straight down the throat of our now Tenyas. Early chance for Barca. And the Dutchman couldn't finish it off. Well, that is the danger that Barcelona have. They're so good when you get in and around the area. That's beautifully worked. Zigankov, tough chance on the half volley. And he gets his effort away. He's our second top scorer this season behind Dovbyk. And I trust him in those positions as Chalobah's header is into the arms of ter Stegen. And Chalobah then hits the deck. That could be the loney done between now and the end of the season. Go on, Miguel. Into Zigankov. Oh, he gets the header all wrong. Big chance that given away by João Cancelo right on the touchline. Miguel Gutierrez got there first, delivered to Zigankov, but his header was all wrong and it sails over the top. Not a huge amount of chances in this first half. Couple for either team. Still deadlocked at 0-0. That's good from Zigankov. Looking really on ahead of Martin. Back to Herrera. And now Gutierrez. Into Dovbyk. Dovbyk does brilliantly to hold it up. And he finds Zigankov. Garcia to Martinez. In for Dovbyk. Oh! Artem Dovbyk has saved his best till last. What a beautiful goal by Girona. And it's probably the biggest in the club's history. Garcia does well down the right, into the middle from Martinez. And Dovbyk on his weaker right foot. Acrobatic overhead kick over the top of ter Stegen. And Girona lead with 20 minutes to play. Can we hold on? Well, we had the lead against Real Betis in the last episode and threw it away late. If we do the same again today as Lewandowski stings the palms of Tenyas. Barcelona pushing. Lewandowski to Rafinha. It's Ferran. And now it's Rafinha. And there's the goal. Barcelona back on level terms, and it's the Brazilian. Nicely worked. Ferran Torres involved, just pokes it around the corner, and Chalobah just caught between sticking with the run and staying centrally with Lewandowski. Rafinha drills it in at the near post. Tenyas can't keep it out. And Barcelona do fight back for a point here at the Montilivi. Well, I said I would have taken a point pre-match, but to concede with just 5 minutes to play, Girona was so close to seeing out a huge 3 points. Barcelona fighting back, which probably still keeps them top of the table, but we'll go and check out how Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid got on and see if they can capitalise on both teams dropping points. Yeah, that probably is the best result for Atletico and Real, and we'll see how those two got on. We're still in second. Well, Mallorca held Atletico Madrid to a 1-1 draw. They probably needed to win that, as they now fall 3 points behind Barcelona. Real Madrid win a 7-goal thriller against Cadiz to move just 1 point behind us and 2 behind Barcelona, the leaders. This is going down to the wire. Well, we see before our next game that Savio's come to us, interestingly, to say that he's enjoyed his time at the club. Of course, loan coming to an end at the end of the season. And I respond by just saying, we'll see what happens, Savio. I'd love to bring him back, but we will have to wait and see what happens. We also see the news that Trevor Chalobah, the Chelsea loanee, has broken his toe and will miss the remaining 4 games of the season. So he will head back to Chelsea. He's been a pretty decent addition to the team. But big game here against Deportivo Alaves, fighting for their lives down at the bottom of the table. We've made some changes, but we need to make sure we pick up another 3 points to keep the pressure on Barcelona. Vamos, Girona. Well, just under an hour played in this game and still deadlocked at 0-0. I have made changes, as you would have seen from my lineup pre-game, and we may have to think about getting some of our starters on the pitch as Stuani's denied. Big opportunity, as a draw is not really good enough for us. We might have to look to the likes of Dovbyk and Savio sat on the bench if we can't find that breakthrough shortly. Here's the Gankov given space, and again keeper is equal to it, but that's better from Girona. Garcia from the other side, corners into Herrera, and Chavez will pick it up. Blind back to Luis, and again the keeper's equal to it. Pressure mounting on that Alaves goal. They're desperate for the points in their bid for survival. Defending to do here. Oh, Alaves, surely not. Oh, they've done it. They've done it, and that could be title over. Is that Yanis Hadji scoring the goal for Alaves? That's a crucial goal for their survival, and it could be one that ends Girona's title hopes. Well, as Barcelona beat Almeria, we go 5 points behind the league leaders with a game still to play. I think it's over for Girona. A point here will secure Champions League football for next season, which is what we set out to do at the beginning of the season. We also see Christian Porto has come to us like Stuani and said he wants to go out on loan. Hasn't featured a huge amount this year, but with us being in the Champions League next year, he may feature, so one to keep an eye on in the summer. Big game, a point will secure Champions League football. Vamos, Girona. And Dovbyk swings the cross to the back post. Herrera will nod it down to Zygankov. Good effort, and turned away by our former number 1, Paulo Gazzaniga, looking for that opening goal. Corner swung into Dovbyk, and Gazzaniga's not getting in the way of that one. Dovbyk back on the score sheet once again, and we're now close to confirming our status as Champions League for next season. Herrera, look at the space for Garcia into Zygankov, and Arnaul's carried on his run, flicked into the middle for Garcia. Tough chance with his head from that range, but Gazzaniga parries it behind for the corner, and Dovbyk is there, and Dovbyk makes it 2, and that will confirm it. Girona are heading to the Champions League. Well, we'll keep the pressure on Barcelona, Real and Atletico, and we'll be lying in wait if they do slip up, but I do think that our title hopes are over. But Champions League football secured for Season 2. Dovbyk scoring 2 past his former teammate Paulo Gazzaniga. An unhappy return to the Montelivi for the Argentine. And with 2 games to go, Champions League football secured for Girona. Well, just look at how crazy it is at the top of the La Liga table. Just 2 points separating the top 4 teams. We face Valencia up next, who have had a resurgence in the second half of the season, as we look to keep the pressure on the 3 teams above us. Vamos, Girona. Correa. Good ball into Pepelu. Nicely round the corner, and Valencia take the lead. First foray forward, and it's Anthony Martial with the finish, the former Manchester United man. It's a lovely little poked ball through by Pepelu, and he beats Tenyas at the near post, and Girona are going to have to come from behind. I think it's done. I think it's done. Oh, it'll definitely be done here for Hugo Duro, and oh, I thought we'd won the ball, but that's probably going to be a red card. Duro fouled. What colour is the card? It's red for El Hilali. It's over. Call it. It's done. Girona down to 10. A goal behind. It's done. And it could get even worse for us here. Pepelu off the woodwork. Girona all at sea. So much space for Valencia, but given away to Martin. And Savio in down the left. Savio back to Dovbyk, and Girona back on level terms. Despite the red card, 35 minutes to play. Can we from somewhere find a winner? Well, we have been the better team in this second half. Valencia just sort of taken their foot off the gas. And we've got more to play for. Zigankov, lovely feet. And Savio turns it around for Girona. Zigankov fouled, but lays it off to Dovbyk. Dovbyk into Savio. And I really want to get this man back at the club next season. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that we're going to have the funds. But he has been fantastic in this loan spell as, oh, Dovbyk hits the deck. And, well, that looks like he might be out for our final game of the season. But Girona looking to keep their title dreams alive as yet. Dovbyk is done. No. Oh, Martial denied by Tenyas. Trying to keep our title dreams alive. Mamardashvili's up. Tenyas claims. And that will do it. Girona from behind, a man down, somehow managed to fight back and claim all 3 points. Dovbyk injured as well, which means he will miss the final game of the season. Hoping it's nothing too serious for the big Ukrainian. But we will take it to the final day, and we need to hope that somehow all 3 teams above us fail to win on the final day. Vamos, Girona. Well, as we're back into the menus, we see, oh God, we've got loads of youth players unsettled. That's no good. Porto loan offer, and oh no, for Dovbyk, it's a bad one, and that means he's going to miss the beginning of next season as well. I can't remember the last time that I had an ACL injury in a career mode. That is awful. That is the worst news we've had all season. Oh, that is such bad news for Dovbyk. I cannot believe that. I had a feeling when he went down it was a bad one. I was hoping it was just a broken toe, but 7 months he's going to be down, so we won't see him for the whole first half of the season. 30 goals and 6 assists for the big man, but that makes our summer transfer window even bigger because we're going to need someone to come in and step in for Dovbyk from the off next season. That is a huge, huge blow. And we're going to be without him, of course, for the final day, where this is how we currently stand. Barcelona know that a win will secure it. They travel to Sevilla at the Roman Sanchez Pizjuan. Real Madrid host Betis at the Bernabeu, and where are Atletico Madrid? They're away at the Reale Arena to take on Sociedad. So actually some tough games in there. We face Granada, who are rock bottom and already relegated, as are Las Palmas and Sevilla. Wow, Sevilla are down. That win for Alaves against us has kept them in the division. Wow. Okay, well, we might look at Sevilla for some transfer targets for next year. But this is where we stand. We know that we have to win. That is the bare minimum. All we can do is our job and hope that everyone else slips up. Let's dive straight into it. Final game of the season. Title on the line. Vamos, Girona. Well, hoping to end the season with a victory and, of course, keep any slim chances of the title alive. But without Dovbyk, how are we going to cope today? Are we going to be able to find the net freely, or are we going to struggle without the main man? 30 goals in La Liga this season, top scorer. And so far, opening 15 minutes, we've struggled against already relegated Granada. Salvio into Martin. Now Herrera, look at the run from Alex Garcia, and Mateo steps up. The young man in for Dovbyk. I don't think he's my long-term replacement for Dovbyk going down, looking forward to next season. But he's done the job today in over Stuani, and he does open the scoring and keep our dreams alive. Martinez down the line to Zigankov. Back to Arnau Martinez, and space for Garcia. And Martin slams it home for 2. Might be his first goal of the season on the weaker right foot. And that should be the victory secured for Girona. Now we're just hoping on all the teams above us to lose. Quite a big ask. Well, a couple of interesting results at half-time. We didn't get any goal notifications. Barcelona being held by already relegated Sevilla, Real Madrid being held by Betis, and Atletico Madrid winning at the Real Arena, which I think means that Atletico would be champions. Still a whole half to play, but I'm not too sure what that means. Well, I've just brought on Jan Couto and Sergio Gomez as well for the second half. Just a farewell to both of them. Of course, loans coming to an end at the end of the season. And of course, Salvio, you can add to that list as well. Not sure how many of them, if any, will be back next season as Real Madrid take the lead early on in the second half. But yeah, giving them a nice little send-off here as Mateo, given his chance today, bags his second, Girona's third. And although we are going to win on the final day, I do think it will be in vain. Well, we should be seeing the whistle any minute now, and there it is. And I don't think we're going to see title celebrations at the Montelivi. We do get the job done, but by the looks of it, somebody's won somewhere. I said the whole season that the aim was just top 4. The fact that we were in a title race just shows how well we've done, as we shouldn't really have been competing for the title in just our first season. We'll stick with me as we'll sim through, and we'll try and work out what this means. So Atletico win, Barcelona win, and Real Madrid win. No surprises there, which does mean that it's back-to-back championships for Barcelona. They win it by a single point over Atletico Madrid. Girona in third, just a further point behind on 81, and Real Madrid making up the top 4 with 80 points. Quite a big gap to Villarreal down in 5th, and Real Sociedad in the Europa League spots. As for relegation, as we know, Granada, Sevilla and Las Palmas all heading down to the Segunda Division. Well, we'll take a look at some of the other leagues, as it is something I like to do, where in the Premier League, Liverpool beating Manchester City to the Championship by 13 points. Manchester United, poor season for them, down in 10th. Burnley, the Blades and Everton relegated to the Championship. As for Ligue 1, it's not PSG for once. Wow. Monaco beating them to the Liga title. No title for Bayern Munich either in Germany, as it's Bayer Leverkusen, as they did in real life, beating Bayern Munich and Dortmund to the Bundesliga trophy. The Serie A was won by AC Milan pretty comfortably in the end, ahead of Juventus by 8 points, with Lazio having a good season in third. Poor season for Inter, finishing outside of the European places down in 7th. The Eredivisie was won by Ajax, reclaiming their title from PSV. The Liga Portugal, no Braga this time. We know they have a bit of a thing for winning the Liga Portugal in my saves. And finally, we'll look at the Turkish Super League, where Galatasaray beat Fenerbahce to claim the title. We'll do the European competitions in just a moment, but as for the individual awards, Dovbyk winning La Liga Player of the Season. You love to see that. He was, of course, the Golden Boot winner, which we'll go and confirm in just a moment's time. Goalkeeper of the tournament did go to our man, Arnau Tenyas. Fantastic signing in the summer. And the team of the tournament, well, Tenyas not in it, But we do have Miguel Gutierrez, Daley Blind, Yangel Herrera, Alex Garcia and Artem Dovbyk in the team of the tournament. No Zigankov, which seems very, very harsh. But yeah, Dovbyk did win the Golden Boot. 30 goals for him. Featured in every game bar that final game of the season where he was ruled out due to injury. But Zigankov, 14 goals for him from that right-hand side. Fantastic season. Top assists, Alex Garcia way out in front with 19 in 37 matches. Again, just missed one game for us. Ivan Martin also with 8 in 24. So a ratio of 1 in every 3 for our midfielder. Dovbyk also in the top 25 down there in 18th with 6 in 37. And as for clean sheets, Tenyas way out in front, 11 ahead of Guaita with 20 clean sheets in 38 games. Fantastic record for our new signing. And the reason that I've not showed the European competitions yet is because I can't advance any further as we've got some youth players unsettled. So going to give out some pro deals, which I would have rather have waited to do for the summer. But Jose Lopez, he looks pretty decent. At right back will be promoted to the senior team. I think, was it Ledesma as well? No, Carrasco, Montoya and Martin. So 3 of the better players. So Montoya, he looks fantastic on that right hand side. Going to try and loan him out in the summer, but Montoya will be promoted to the first team, as will Xavi Carrasco. Centre of the park also looks fantastic. And who was the other player? It was Martins, wasn't it? He's our highest rated at 72. Diogo Martins also promoted to the senior squad. Well, now that we've advanced forward a few weeks in the calendar, we'll check the European competitions where the Conference League was won by Fenerbahce. Wow, fair play to the Turkish side. Didn't win the Turkish League, but are European champions. The Europa League was won by Liverpool, defeating Ajax in the final. And the Champions League was won by Manchester City, once again defeating Barcelona in the final. So no European double for Barcelona. In fact, who won the Copa del Rey this year? Copa del Rey was won by Real Madrid. So yeah, just the single trophy for Barca this season. Real Madrid went on to win the Copa del Rey. We, of course, were knocked out in the first round. We enter the round of 32 as we lost to Celta Vigo. But of course, this is how the squad currently looks as we finish our first season with Girona. Dovbyk obviously down with that big long-term injury, which is going to hinder us going into next season. We're also going to lose Savio, Couto, Chalobah and Gomez, who are going back to their parent clubs from their loan spell. So it's a big transfer window to come next summer. I'm really looking forward to it as we continue to build this squad heading into the Champions League for next year. But it's going to be a really, really tough task to compete in multiple competitions with the lack of squad depth we've got at the moment. We might have to try and improve on that in the summer. But like always, we will run through the squad hub, and starting with Arnau Tenyas. Fantastic season for the young Spaniard. Grown 5 ratings up to 79 overall. 20 clean sheets in 38 appearances in the league. And yeah, a fantastic signing. Sergio didn't play a huge amount, but of course brought in on loan from Manchester City towards the end of the season. We may potentially look to bring him back next season on a permanent, as we are going to need a backup to Gutierrez now that we're playing in the Champions League. And Miguel was fantastic for us down that left-hand side. Grown at 4 ratings, 5 assists in 36 appearances. Daley Blind was fantastic. Likely that he will get a new deal in the summer. In fact, we might even tie him down at the end of this episode for another year. Fantastic player. 35 of our 38 appearances in La Liga. Can play centre-back, left-back and CDM. So we know that he's versatile, and he may be declining in stats pretty rapidly now, but I think Daley Blind for one more season with us being in the Champions League, I think that would be a good decision for one more season. Trevor Chalobah, of course, brought in from Chelsea on transfer deadline day in January. 7 appearances in the second half of the season, and he scored as well to rescue a point for us against, was it Getafe? I think it was Getafe that he scored. Went down with that broken toe, of course, so he will return to Chelsea. Unlikely that we'll sign him on a permanent, but he was pretty decent for us. Mosquera was fantastic, of course. We signed him in the summer from Valencia, and I said when we signed him that he was like my main centre-back long-term at the club. Still only 19 years of age. 31 appearances in La Liga, and he's grown at 4 ratings up to 78 overall. Couto, we discussed a couple of times throughout the course of the season. Going to be difficult to strike up a deal with that high market valuation, of course, going back to Manchester City. We'll see what happens in the summer and if there's any way that we can bring him back, because I would like to have him again, potentially on loan or on a permanent, but I think a deal is going to be difficult financially. Arnau Martinez, a fantastic season for him. Only grown by 1 overall, but he did have that injury during the middle of the season. Just the 21 appearances, but 2 assists from right back. Very, very solid. And he is, of course, our main right back moving forward. Only a year left on his deal, so it's likely that come the summer we will offer him a new long-term contract. El Hilali, very solid option at right back as well, up to 74 overall. Again, not sure whether we'll keep him next year or look to loan him out. He did get sent off in our final game against Valencia. But yeah, El Hilali, decent in limited minutes, but we may look to loan him out next year. Jose Lopez, definitely going to be added to the loan list. Selvi, up 2 ratings, out on loan at Samsunspor. Valeri was very good in spells. He had that very good run of form where he scored a couple of goals. Mainly used as a bench player, but his versatility, can play on either side. He did also come on at left back quite often for us if we were chasing again. So signed a new contract in January to keep him at the club, and still only 24 years of age. He's a very good squad player. Savio, of course, we mentioned him quite a lot throughout the course of the season. He was probably the lowest performer of our front 3, but 5 goals, 5 assists. Tricky Brazilian out on that left-hand side. Again, like Couto, I'd love to bring him back, but financially, I just don't see how that's going to happen. We'll see what happens come the summer, but I think a deal for Savio is going to be very, very difficult. Chavez, very solid first season for the Mexican, grown by 1 rating and 1 goal, 3 assists for him, but he's just very solid, gets through a lot of that dirty work in midfield when he's in for Ivan Martin. Of course, played quite a lot due to the injury to the Spaniard, but yeah, very solid first season for Chavez. The captain, Alex Garcia, fantastic season as we know. 2 goals, 19 assists, most of them to Dovbyk. Featured in every game bar 1 in La Liga, and he was fantastic. We may offer him a new deal next season as well, with just 2 years left on his current deal, and give him a big bumper pay rise, because he has been fantastic for us, up 2 overall. Yangel Herrera, very solid at the base of that midfield, just 26 years of age. Very, very solid at the base of that midfield. Martin, we mentioned a minute ago, very solid on the left-hand side of our midfield 3. And again, not sure if it's an area of the pitch we could potentially improve on. Very, very solid season. 8 assists from the centre of the park. Bernabe signed in the summer, of course. He was one of my signings. He's in bad form, but always pretty decent when he did play for us. Grown 2 ratings to 76 overall. Just the 15 appearances, most of those coming off the bench. No goals, but 2 assists for the Spaniard in a pretty decent first season with the club. Solis didn't feature a huge amount, and again, he's one that's likely to go out on loan. Just the 4 appearances for the young Colombian, but 19 years of age. I don't really want to sell him because he's got some decent stats, but likely that he goes out on loan next summer. Carrasco, as we've already mentioned, he will go out on loan. Looks very, very decent, the young Spaniard. Suslov up 3 overall this season, 21 19-year-old Slovakian. Pretty decent first year for him, 3 goals and 1 assist, but similarly to Bernabe, most of those appearances are coming off the bench. Now that we're in Europe, I do expect him to feature a little bit more next season, and again, like Bernabe, I'd say it's a pretty decent first season in Spain. Porto, an interesting one, didn't feature a huge amount, just 12 appearances, and most of them are coming in the early stages of the season and off the bench. At 32 years of age, he's one of those that I may look to cash in on next season, as he's only going to continue to decrease. So Porto, he's asking for a loan move, but he's either going to stay or be sold. There's no way I'm letting him leave on loan. Zigankov, by far our second best player this season, behind, of course, the main man Dovbyk. 14 goals, just the 3 assists, which surprises me a little bit. But he was fantastic off that right-hand side. The Ukrainian link-up with Victor and Dovbyk was superb. And yeah, he will not be going anywhere next year. An absolute star in this Girona side. Montoya, approached by Vallecano, which I've delegated. So it looks like he could be getting some first-team football in the top flight next season, which I'm really excited about, as he looks very, very good. Stuani, similarly to Porto, has submitted a loan request. I'm hoping that he's going to retire at the end of next season. 3 goals and 3 assists for him, but again, most of those appearances coming off the bench for the veteran Uruguayan. And as I say, I'm hoping that he's going to retire come next season. Artem Dovbyk, so sad to see that big ACL injury is going to keep him out until around November, December time. So he's going to miss, well, pretty much half of next season, but 30 goals, 6 assists for the big man. Grown 3 ratings up to 84. Our player of the season, and I'm absolutely gutted that he's gone down with that ACL. Mateo Joseph, who did get the nod in that final game of the season, scored 2 goals as well, which took his tally up to 3 for the campaign. Likely that he'll go out on loan next year, but with no real centre forward at the club, with Dovbyk down injured, Stuani likely to retire and decreasing, and Joseph just 20 years of age, we're definitely going to need to recruit in those forward areas of the pitch. But I think that is where we will leave it for today's episode, guys. Of course, unfortunately, just missing out on the La Liga title, but I never really thought it was ours to lose. Qualified for the Champions League next season, which was our main objective at the beginning of the campaign. Going to be a huge transfer window to come over the summer. Be interesting to see how much money we do get from the board, as we're going to have to be very savvy with our funds. I'll catch you for the next episode very soon, guys, where we're going to kick off season 2 with our Girona squad, and it will be with you very soon. Peace.